Can Nate Caddy have a breakout year in his third year in the AFL, like we're all hoping that he can if you're Essendon supporters? My name's Daniel, by the way. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, I've been going through all the players on Essendon's list. We anticipate there's going to be 43. There might be 44. We'll see how that goes. We've been going through all of them. We're going to be doing that right up until mid-December. The next player on the list that I'm going to do is Nate Caddy. You can check out all the other videos if you want to check them out. So Nate Caddy, a really, really high investment for us and a massively important player for our future. 20 years old, he was picked at number 10 in the 2023 draft, the national draft. He's 193 centimetres, 88 kilograms. We rated him, Essendon did say, we rated him in the top 5. We did openly say that even if we had to pick 5 or 6, we would have picked him at that point. We were really happy that he got through to pick 10, and we were able to get him. Very, very athletic type. You need these type of athletic players on your list that could be kind of anything. And whether his investment will pay off, I always talk about whether the investment will pay off or has it. Too early to say. Obviously, it didn't hurt that, or didn't help last year that he suffered a groin injury towards the end of the season. Not a great sign for a young player to get groin injuries, but look, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and hope that he can get over that with a strong pre-season. He's only young. So, look, he's going to be a really, really good player for us. I just thought I'd draw a little comparison here. And the comparison I'll draw, he often draws comparisons in terms of his body shape and athleticism to Carlton's Sydney's now Charlie Curnow. I've got to get used to saying that. And if you just have a look at Nate Caddy's first 2 seasons, his first season he kicked 9 goals from 10 games, so average about a goal a game. Last year he kicked 20 goals from 17 games, so much the same. And that's all the only body of work we have so far. I'll just show you Charlie Curnow's first 2 seasons, kind of similar. First season he played 6 games, averaged a goal a game. His second season he played 21 games and kicked 20 goals. Then it started to pay off. Next season he kicked 34 goals. He suffered some injuries or whatever, and eventually he became the 60, 70 goal a season player. So I draw that comparison because he does have some similarities, I think, to Curnow, just in his body shape, his size, just the way he plays the game. There are some weaknesses in Caddy's game. One thing that frustrates me a little bit with Nate, and he's got to get this out of his game, he does tend to run under the ball all the time. And when I say that, when he's going for marks, it's not a one-off thing. It happens numerous times a game where he's leading for the ball and he leads too early and he leads way, way under the ball. And this is something, once you look at it, once you notice it, you can't unsee it, right? I looked for it a few times last year, and then I sort of noticed he was doing it almost every time. Very, very rarely have I noticed he sort of leads out and takes a genuine mark out on the lead in front of him. He always tends to lead too early, gets under the ball, he's in a contested situation, the ball's way up over him or even a little bit up behind him, and he sort of missed his chance. Now, this is obviously rectifiable, and it happens, I think, when you're not a natural full forward, you're kind of an athlete. That's kind of look at what I associate Caddy as being at the moment. You can learn to be a full forward. It's a position you can learn, but when you're an athlete like that, sometimes this can tend to happen. You do need to learn to play the forward. I've already done a video on Liam McMahon. Now, Liam McMahon is nowhere near the athlete Caddy is, and he's a borderline player in our best 23 at best. But one thing he knows how to do is lead. He's got good leading patterns, and he knows how to play the position. And there's no, look, I know McMahon's only a young player, but I would be looking, if I was Caddy, I'd be looking at kind of the way he plays. Imagine if you could have McMahon's nous, right, and knowledge of how to play full forward, and you could combine that with Caddy's athleticism. Caddy just needs to learn how to play full forward. And I envisage that he probably won't be a stay-at-home full forward for his entire career. I don't think that's where he's going to be. I reckon he's going to evolve more into a Jeremy Cameron type player where he's got license to move further up the ground and showcase what he can do up there. I think you'll see him move a lot outside the forward 50. I think that's eventually what will happen. And we saw him doing that a bit this year. But we still need him to kick goals. And when he's not doing that, he still needs to be able to lead. He needs to be able to have, I guess, what you'd call forward craft. And that's something he doesn't really have at the moment, forward craft. The good thing is, like I said, you can learn that sort of thing. It's just a matter of practice. It's just a matter of playing the position. And I think he just needs to learn how to do the simple stuff well. right? Don't worry about, I mean, that fantastic goal he kicked over his head against Brisbane. I think the first goal he ever kicked against West Coast. He can do some amazing things, but what he's really just got to get right, get the basics right. Get the basics right first. If he gets the basics right, he could be anything. You saw the trajectory that Curnow had and Caddy, very, very similar. So there's not worried or anything at this stage. I still think he'll be able to fulfill that potential, but he just needs to do the basics right. If he can do the basics right first, then all the stuff he's got on top of that, the tricks, he's a big contested mark, even though he doesn't seem to take very many contested marks, like I said, because he gets so far under the ball, but he's got all those things to his game. He's got the ability, he just needs to learn that forward craft to be able to, hone those skills. Just looking at his numbers last year, he averaged 10.9 disposals per game, 5 contested possessions, 3.9 marks, and he kicked the 20 goals. I would expect a bigger impact. I would hope that he would kick 35 if you sort of use look, I know you can't compare every player to every other player, but, Curnow kicked 34 in his third year. I think that would be kind of a good trajectory for Caddy. It's interesting, Logan Morris in his second season for Brisbane kicked 53 goals. Hard to make a genuine comparison because he's got such a good team feeding him the ball. I mean, what would Caddy kick if he was playing for Brisbane? So I know some people have used the Logan Morris comparison. Look, why couldn't he produce those sort of numbers? Look, it's his second season. Oh, he's not going to kick those 53 goals in a team that was struggling as much as we were. So the questions I've got for Nate Caddy going into the 2026 season: can he stay fit for a 20-plus game season? He hasn't played 20 games yet. He's played 10 games and he's played 17 games. There's no cause for concern yet, but that groin injury was lingering towards the end of the year. You would hope that he can get over that. Can he have a breakthrough year? And this is it. This is the breakthrough. Third year, kind of the year that you want to see some genuine results. I'd like to see 40 goals. I think would be a really good return. If he can get 2 goals a match, that's something that I would really like to see. He just needs to work on that forward craft a little bit more and get the basics right. Once he can get the basics right, he could be anything, and I've still got big hopes for him. The third question I've got for him is, will Nate Caddy be a stay-at-home full forward, or will he push further up the ground? Now, he is pushing a little bit further up the ground at the moment, but if you look at our forward setup, we do have a lot of players that can play down there. I think Langford should play more at full forward. I made a video about Kyle Langford. You guys maybe would have seen it. If you haven't seen it and you're new to the channel, please check the video on Kyle Langford out. I show that Kyle Langford's only injury-free seasons are when he basically plays at full forward. He tends to get injured when he runs more in the midfield. I think he should be stationed there, and we've got other players that can play there, McMahon, Tom Edwards, Peter Wright. That might mean that Caddy does push a bit further up the ground to use some like that Jeremy Cameron type of role, and sometimes he does come back into the forward line as well on a needs basis, that sort of thing. So what will his role be? I don't think he'll be a stay-at-home full forward. I think he does need to push out of that forward 50, but of course he does need to learn that forward craft if he is to kick that 40-plus goals that we really want him to get out of this year. So I'm going to leave it there. Nate Caddy is the next player on the list. Let me know in the comments what you think of Nate Caddy. What do you think of his prospects for 2026? How many goals do you think Nate Caddy should be able to kick? What do you think would be a realistic number of goals entering his third season, assuming he plays a full year, that he should be able to kick for the 2026 season? I'm going to leave it there. Like and subscribe to this channel if you like and appreciate the content that I provide. Have a great day, and as always, go Bombers.